about a cancer fundraiser. He's fighting back, joining me exclusively with his response to this headline. Take a look at issue. The Daily Caller's report entitled, Mueller target raised $25,000 in charity to pay cancer doctor who doesn't appear to exist. The story comes on the heels of Jerome Corsi's $350 million lawsuit against Robert Mueller and the feds. Dr. Corsi believes this article was planted by Mueller's team as a kind of hit job on his character. And he's calling on the reporter to be a witness in his case. Joining us right now exclusively is Dr. Jerome Corsi himself. It's good to have you back. Wow. So you saw the headline there.
Yes, I did.
Caller.
Yeah.
And what was your reaction?
Well, I was outraged. I mean, first of all, we can prove without doubt that this is an illegal leak from the special counsel to Chuck Ross.
And Chuck Ross, just so the viewer knows, is the reporter.
The reporter.
That reported this story, saying that basically somehow this was a hoax, I guess.
Absolutely.
Your cancer fundraiser.
There's no other place this information could have come from than the Mueller grand jury. And Chuck Ross, the reporter, told me he got the information from Robert Mueller's special counsel.
Whoa. So that's important. The reporter himself?
Yes, he introduced it, said that I have this information from sources close to and directly from Robert Mueller's special counsel. So it's a direct proof of an illegal leak from the grand jury.
And by the way, we should say that you're saying that this is not in fact true at all, that this was a real doctor and that
yes, doctor's real, and
the money.
Tommy Sickler is a real cancer patient. I mean, it's a tremendous.
Once again, just to back up, so the viewer, because
yes.
we're jumping ahead.
Yes.
So tell us all of it from the
Well, yes, okay. And Corsi Nation took on the case to raise $25,000 for Tommy Sickler, who was a cancer patient. The doctor is an Israeli doctor, an oncologist.
Tommy Sickler, I believe we have a picture of him. We'll just show the viewer who he is.
And a picture with me in it, so you can document that Tommy Sickler and I know each other, and I've investigated this case. Tommy Sickler was treated for cancer, and we raised money to help him with the operation, $25,000. I know the doctor. In fact, the doctor is real. The doctor exists. He's an Israeli oncologist and surgeon. In fact, you know, my whole family
gets... They say, though, they couldn't find him. That
well,
they tried and tried, and they couldn't find him.
That's Mueller's problem. I can find him. That's Mueller's problem. You know,
the reporter's saying he couldn't find him either.
Well, that's great. They're not very good at this, I guess. You know, but in fact, the doctor exists. In fact, they can go directly to me. They bring my family into this all the time, cancer patients in my family. And I find this whole attempt to slur me, which comes right out after I've just published the ebook. You know, so my attorney
And let's go back, because it also happened after you were on this show. Don't forget, you were on the show the other night, and then what happened the next day?
Precisely. The next day, this article begins to break, and my ebook also, we featured it on the show that my ebook was going to be available, and it's now on Amazon, Silent No More, inside story of what the horror story is of the Mueller witch hunt. And I'm sure Mueller is dropping this story to defame me and to damage my family.
Because the thing is, if it actually were true, and I haven't looked into any of this. I just know that, you know, I've talked to you and you tell me it's not true. So if it's not true, why wouldn't the feds actually come after you for something like this? Why would they just try and do a hit job?
Well, I mean, that's right. I mean, if I run I got not a penny. It was a GoFundMe account, Corsi Nation, on which I broadcasted and live streamed this case and promoted it. Tommy Sickler. I got not a penny. The direct money, all the money went directly to the GoFundMe account. That can be documented.
And where did the money go to after that?
Well, that's up to Tommy Sickler. The money went to Tommy to help him with this case. We have photographs that can be produced of Tommy in the hospital, Tommy in the operation. I've met Tommy. I'm taking this slurred my family too, talking about cancer victims in my family that the doctor was assisting. Well, let's talk about me. I have an operation for spinal stenosis in 2008. I have had pain enormous ever since I've walked. But taking medicine the doctor created that has relieved the pain, and I can walk again. Is that the same
doctor that you're referencing?
The same doctor we're referencing.
Okay. All right. So in your view now, the reporter is someone who should be questioned because you believe that this information, which was untrue, but the story that's been told here was actually told to him by Mueller's team.
That's right. Mueller teams now is investigating everything about me. They want to find a crime. And my attorney put the reporter on notice today that he is now a witness that will be in my criminal complaint before the Department of Justice on Mueller's special prosecution efforts and in the $350 million lawsuit that we have in the federal district court. A hearing is going to be held on that on January 3rd.
Dr. Corsi, they said that the Mueller's team didn't leak.
Yes,
well, they were ironclad, totally tight, no leaks.
They leak like a sieve. We've also submitted to
to whom they want. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I mean, when it helps them.
They damage me, and these are now personally damaging. They're starting to investigate my family. They're investigating my work with cancer patients. I find this especially offensive, given how closely cancer has affected my family.
Have they contacted you since you filed suit?
No, they have not contacted me or my attorneys. They continue to investigate. They continue to call people.
They showed up at your son-in-law.
They showed up at my son-in-laws. They're doing everything they can. They're to harass my life and to destroy my reputation. This is a slur, and it originates in Mueller's special counsel. We can prove that as a leak to this reporter, Chuck Ross. He's going to be appearing, and we have, oh, by the way, emails from other leaks where the special counselor has been meeting with reporters in a restaurant in Washington, D.C., across from Trump International Hotel to leak grand jury information. I think the Mueller team has been deliberately now investigating areas of my life unrelated to anything to do with Russian collusion, because they hate me so much, especially, Trish, for the appearances on your show and also for this ebook, which now lets you read inside Mueller's witch hunt, what it felt like by me to be under this Gestapo questioning. I am not backing down.
You're not changing what you told them?
We're going forward with a $350 million lawsuit in the U.S. District Court. This reporter is going to be called in. He's going to be under oath, and we're going to pin him down that he got this information directly from Mueller's grand jury, the only place it could have originated. And it's a total slur on me and my family.
But an intimidation tactic.
An intimidation tactic.
Wow. Look, we appreciate you coming on and telling your story, Dr. Corsi. We really do.
Trish, thank you for the opportunity. Your show has been of great assistance. I can't thank you enough. This has been you'll have to answer questions. Is Dad going to be arrested on Christmas Day? Is Dad going to be in prison? I can't say no. I could be hauled off right now. They could come in here and put me in handcuffs after the grand jury met today. And this is complete harassment. I've done nothing wrong. As I said, I'm guided by my faith and my honesty. I'm 72 years old. I've never committed a crime. I don't have even a parking ticket. I was never accused of being a criminal until I couldn't give Mueller what he wanted, and they forced me, pressured me, lied, do anything, just give us this information. I can't connect Roger Stone to Julian Assange because I don't know Julian Assange. I had never a contact with him, directly or indirectly, and they can argue this all day long, but they won't accept the truth of what I've told them.
Are you scared at all?
I'm angry, and I'm going to be determined. My faith drives me here. Okay. I may be put in prison by these brutes and this harassment for the rest of my life. 1 year in federal prison might kill me, but I'm so determined to bring to the American people my personal witness as Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I'm not here for an earthly purpose. My purpose here is to bring to the American people the fact that our justice system is being run by politically motivated hacks who are acting as criminals in this prosecutorial misconduct known as the Mueller Special Counsel.
Taxpayers on the hook. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe costing a whopping $25 million so far. Still going. This as new documents reveal the tactics the FBI took that were questionable when they interviewed General Michael Flynn way back in January 2017. Here to react, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Let's get right down to it. There was yet another document dump. It seems like every Friday there's something coming from the special counsel's office. This is a response to what Flynn's team had said. What's the most important thing you took away from these documents?
The documents confirm that General Flynn's attorneys were right in raising questions about the way Flynn was approached and questioned. It confirms that the FBI agents, including Peter Strzok, didn't see any indications of lying by Flynn. In fact, they believed he was telling the truth, and that he believed he was telling the truth. And on top of that, you had Andrew McCabe, the corrupt number 2 of the FBI, who had been fired for lying since, call up Flynn and say, you know what, you don't want to involve White House counsel here because we're going to have to bring the Justice Department in, which was a bunch of malarkey. And the idea that he did this to the National Security Advisor is just unbelievable to me. And now we know whose idea was this? James Comey.
Yeah,
so you had this
about
corrupt duo of Comey and McCabe targeting Flynn for what? He talked to the Russian ambassador's incoming National Security Advisor. There was no reason to go after him but to target him and to get a scalp as they embarked on their anti-Trump campaign.
Tom, to your point, James Comey did this interview several days back here in New York City and sort of boasted about the fact, I wouldn't have been able to get away with this in the George W. Bush administration or the Obama administration. They were more organized, but there was chaos at the beginning of the Trump administration. So instead of going through the White House counsel's office, we sort of just sprung this on Flynn. How could he say that?
What an outrageous hypocrite. This is the same man who complained about the White House talking to him and the president talking to him directly about cases because, quote, there were procedures about how the White House was supposed to communicate with the FBI and Justice Department. And it goes to show that the rules didn't apply to Donald Trump when it came to targeting him. And they were holding him out to a standard that they held no one else out to.
This is what the president and his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, have been saying, that there's 2 standards of justice. This fires a lot of people up. I've got less than a minute, Tom. Bottom line, do you think there's a chance that Judge Sullivan just says the FBI acted improperly here, I'm throwing out the charges against Flynn?
Oh, I think he ought to do that. I think he needs to initiate proceedings, throw out the charges based on government misconduct, and protect General Flynn from being prosecuted anymore in these issues. And if he doesn't do it, President Trump can't pardon Flynn soon enough.
All right, Tom Fitton has been all over the story from the beginning. Appreciate your insight this morning.
Hey humans, David Smalley here from the Dogma Debate Podcast, right here on Podcast One, where we talk about all the things you're not supposed to discuss at work: religion, politics, abortion, racism, slavery, and that's only when we open the Bible. We discuss Islam, Islamophobia. What does that even mean? We chat with vegans, animal rights activists, and even visit factory farms to see it for ourselves. I invite people from multiple backgrounds to convert me into their worldview. But as long as they're okay with being respectfully challenged, you better bring your evidence. And I never lose sight of how both the left and the right are seeming to lose their minds. So basically, we're solving all the world's problems right here on Dogma Debate. And you've been missing it. Download Dogma Debate on iTunes, Stitcher, or PodcastOne.com.
Back on the Laura Ingraham Show, Raymond Arroyo sitting in for the great lady, and we are privileged and delighted to be joined by Patrick J. Buchanan, presidential advisor, columnist, the mainstay on the McLaughlin Group, and so much more. Pat Buchanan, thank you for being here.
Delighted, Raymond. How are you?
Oh, look, with everything going down, Pat, I thought we needed to talk to you because if anyone has lived through a White House besieged, it is Pat Buchanan. Now, you were there during Watergate. You remember what happened, and you've written a number of books about it. What lessons should this White House prepare themselves with, given what's about to befall them? And it looks like multiple investigations from all sides, Pat, from prosecutors as well as the Congress.
Well, I think what they've got is pretty much what Nixon had, although I will say that Trump has some advantages that Nixon did not. You've got Fox News, and you've got a number of talk radio, and you've got a number of columnists, and you've got websites and things that are very supportive of Trump, and Nixon didn't have those. But I will say this, the president in for, I think, 2 years of uninterrupted hell in this city with the investigations and attacks on him constant, and people, when new information doesn't arrive in time, regurgitating again and again the old information, such as we're getting with the Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal things right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you see any vulnerabilities here, Pat? I mean, you have Michael Cohen this morning during the full-on Oprah with George Stephanopoulos. You know, he's a wronged man who didn't understand what he was doing, and Trump made him do it, and he doesn't know why he was so loyal. Is there any jeopardy from this situation, to your eyes, the paying settlements to a woman who's making charges against you or charging you with doing something nefarious?
In the criminal realm, I don't believe so for this reason. I mean, if these women were demanding money to maintain their silence, that's sort of a form of extortion, I think,
right,
and a form of attempted blackmail. And if Trump has a perfect right to contribute all he wants to his campaign, if he had made a direct contribution, simply said, you know, let's make this go away and take the money out of my account, or pay the account and then take it out of my account, and reported it, he would be fine. I don't think the women issue, I think, does not rise to the level of impeachment, and I do think that the Democrats in the House would make a terrible mistake, because then we'd go back as we did in the Clinton era, digging up all the dirt on the Democrats and others who have girlfriends on the Hill. Mm-hmm. And don't they have a rainy day fund up there?
Yes, we were just talking about it, Pat. In fact, and you've got Giuliani.
That's an important fund to contribute to.
Yeah. Well, this is quite a little story. In fact, CNN had something about this last month. Congress paid out $17 million in settlements, and we know so little about the money. You know, it's just floating around. But Giuliani, if you listen to Giuliani yesterday, he said, look, if the Congress wants to go down this path and try to indict the president on something like this, we know that 30 to 40 of them have made similar payments, and we're happy. They better get lawyered up, he said. So, I mean,
well, get lawyered up, and they better get ready for the next election, because, I mean, that's exploded in the Clinton scandal. All the folks who were having their own affairs in the Capitol Hill and elsewhere, the names all came out.
Right.
And I think that would happen. But I don't think the Democrats, I think they realize themselves that, look, the whole country has known of these names for months and months and months. And the idea that you're going to get the country to rise up and say, we are outraged, and then try to impeach and convict the president on these items, I don't think that's going to happen. What I can see is them collecting string on one after another allegation and suggestion and information that comes out, and the Nadler basically being forced as chairman of Judiciary to at least start to compile information for a potential impeachment. But I don't think the Democrats want to go down that road. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll say this, Raymond. I am astonished. Was that a Fox News poll that said Trump is at 46% approval?
I believe it was. There are a number of them that are saying he's rising. And again, that is a testament to his results, Pat. This is, overwhelming the onslaught of negative media and the unrelenting attacks and pounding by Mueller and the Cohen and the leaks. Here it is, his job performance. It's Fox News, and it's 46%. You're right.
Well, this is astonishing. Let me tell you, I was with Nixon, of course, in 1972 in the election. Nixon, after the first 4 years, won 49 states. And then he and the vice president had to resign in September of 73. You had the Saturday Night Massacre and all the rest of it. By August of 1974, which would be roughly 2 years into his second term, Nixon was down around 25%. It was forced to resign. He had lost the Senate. I mean, Trump has been under fire here since late in the campaign of 2016. And that he is at 46% with this suggests to me that the American people disbelieve the American establishment. Mm-hmm. They think that what is going on here is the establishment is attempting to bring down and break Trump, to remove him from office and put him in jail, because basically Trump crushed them in the election of 2016 in a huge surprise, stole power from him, and they're trying to discredit his victory and destroy him. And they see it as an us versus them battle. And our side's made mistakes, and their side is basically malevolently motivated. I think that's exactly why people are standing with Trump. It's not that they don't think Trump may have fooled around some point